Michael Jordan was laughably better than LeBron James. Here we go. What's your name? Connor, have a seat.
Skip, a pleasure to be across from you. I've seen you debate many people on this subject. In the near 2 decades I've been watching LeBron James. I got a question for you about Scottie Pippen. A guy, for people with your narrative, we like to hate on Scottie Pippen. Guys in this room, we love Scottie Pippen. Michael Jordan,
bet you do.
In '93, the Chicago Bulls win 57 games. He retires, which we can get into the reasoning behind it. Maybe a gambling suspension, maybe something else, who knows?
I give you that, yeah.
Thank you for giving that one to me, I appreciate it. So he retires. The next year, the Chicago Bulls win 55 games.
Yep.
Scottie Pippen, the guy, even when Jordan was playing, the guy who leads the team in rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks, the do-it-all guy, the guy who was the better defender, defending the best wing on the opposing team.
He was a great Robin. I give you that.
Well, that year he was actually not a Robin. He was top 3 in MVP voting, top 3 in Defensive Player of the Year voting, first team All-NBA, and first team All-Defense. The team won 55 games. That is a
Remember what happened against the Knicks in the playoffs?
Yes, they lost in 7 games to the Knicks. The Knicks, the team that went and defended, that represented the East, and lost in 7 to Hakeem Olajuwon and the Rockets.
What happened to Scottie in that final, in the that playoff series? What happened? He wouldn't go back in a game. It was the crucial turning point game of that series.
I don't know what
wouldn't
that is.
go back then. Yeah.
Okay, great. So they lost 2 games after Michael Jordan, the best
He
player
was
ever.
Robin
the best
to
player
Batman.
ever. He retires in the middle of his prime, and we give him these years like, it counts. He retired. He quit on his team, and they lost 2 less games.
No, he didn't quit. They fired his coach.
LeBron James they went 66-16 in 09. 66-16. They had the best record in basketball. The following year they go 61-21, best record in basketball. He leaves. They go 19-63, the 29th best record in basketball. Wait, stop. They 3 out of the next 4 years, they have the #1 pick. They go back-to-back years, the best team in basketball, to 3 out of 4 years, the #1 pick. This team lost 2 games or won 2 less games. He retired. That's the difference this guy makes. The best wing, the second best wing when Jordan was playing was the guy right next to him, his teammate, Scottie Pippen. That was the other best wing in the league, his teammate. And the guy who thinks that LeBron is better than him. Don't look up Scottie Pippen's opinions on other things that might ruin the argument, but he says that LeBron's better than him. But before he got there, 1-9. You talk about playoff performances. Look up how Jordan played in those games. Look up how Jordan played in them.
Oh, good. I will.
He actually played really good. I've actually looked it up. I know how. So maybe it's a team.
63
so maybe it's a team sport.
63?
So maybe it's a team sport. So maybe you guys, the Jordan fans, they like to say, "Oh, he scored 63 against Bird and the Celtics, that all-time team." Yeah, that's great.
Do you remember what Bird said after the game?
But you can't say that. You can't count that.
Bird said that was God disguised as Michael Jordan. That was from Larry Bird when Michael was in his 2nd year because they were scared to death of him.
They anointed him. We've looked at LeBron's career in comparison to Michael Jordan since he's 15 years old, averaging 21 and 6.
Help me out here. Help me out.
Please. 2010,
last go-around, first stint in Cleveland against the Boston Celtics. LeBron played one of the greatest games. I watch every dribble that he's ever dribbled. At Boston, game 3, and they go up 2-1, and he shrinks and disappears in 4, 5, and 6. And ultimately, his owner accused him of quitting in that series. Jordan never was accused of anywhere near quitting.
He quit for 2 years. He retired twice in the middle of his. First of all,
stop.
What do you mean?
Forced out.
Explain. Why did he retire? Why did he retire?
Good job. Thank you. LeBron's achievements are all, quote-unquote, longevity marks built on most minutes played. Who would like to attack that premise? You're back again. Yes, sir.
All right.
Longevity.
We're getting a little crazy with this longevity thing because obviously, as we mentioned, the greatest young player in the history of organized competition. Now, as of pretty recently, the greatest old player in the history of organized competition. I don't even think you have on your sheet there anything to dispute that, right? All that happened in between was the greatest prime in NBA history.
4 and 6.
I have a question for you, though.
Okay, go ahead.
We're getting into a very strange with this longevity, almost as it's a negative. He has such great stats because he played for longer. Why is that a bad thing? Why did Jordan go and have to play double-A baseball, where he had more strikeouts than hits? He batted 200. I mean, he shouldn't. We talk about Bronny not being in the league. That guy shouldn't have played on any minor league baseball team. No. But because I came up here before, I asked you 8 questions. You didn't answer any of them, which is kind of what you do, right?
But
my question, so you understood him, you didn't answer. Okay, great. So when does longevity? So he's 40, right? How many years realistically does he have his prime? Like 12, 15 years left? He'll play till he's 55 maybe. At what point does longevity start to matter? Because I don't think it matters as much as we're making it seem, but why is that a negative? You're saying, well, he scored so much because he played till he's 40. He played for 22 years. Like, I don't see the problem with that. Please explain. Let's say he plays another 5 years in his prime. When are we going to start to give him some credit for it instead of using that? What if he retired 3 years ago? What if he got suspended from the league for gambling and he had to take 2 different retirements and for some reason that's said as like a positive? Explain to me when longevity starts to matter, please.
The argument is Jordan versus LeBron. Jordan
Really?
played 48,000 minutes total to 71,000 for LeBron. That's 23,000, magic number. The original 23 was the only 23.
Math isn't my thing. Fact check that.
23,000 more minutes he has played, and I give you the longevity
It's a positive
of it.
thing.
Okay, but 10 scoring titles to 1 for LeBron. A defensive player of the year and 9 in 11 years, 9 first-team all-defense.
In 1988, they were playing the Atlanta Hawks. The Bulls had 7 steals as a team. The Hawks turned the ball over 6 times. I don't know, were computers invented back then? I'm not the brightest guy here. The stats were completely, you look at his stats in home games versus away games, especially on defense. And Skip, I've been a huge fan of you for a very long time. And as I was just saying, I commend your commitment to this bit. I think you're unbelievable. I'm not joking. You're fantastic at what you do, right? You said, again, we love revisionist history. You said in 2010 that he is the best defensive player in the world. I could find a clip of you saying that. Do you remember saying that?
In 2010, he was the best defender.
From 2008 to 2012, he was the best defender in the league. And that's what
I'll buy that.
off. Well,
okay,
it's
so
what you said.
Does that make him better
So then
than
he didn't have a
Jordan?
defensive player of the year. Why are we using that as like something that matters?
Because
also,
he
what
had
are we
one.
talking about here? Longevity?
9
Can you
out of
answer my
11.
question?
Yes, I'm answering. You're not
go.
answering. Okay? My point is that we look at scoring 10 to 1. How do you defend that? How do you defend the fact LeBron,
Longevity
by
scoring?
superstar standards, has always been a lousy shooter from the free throw line?
What are you talking? Put the freaking things down, dude.
okay.
What are you talking about? A lousy shooter?
He finally figured it out at age 40? Are you
Because
kidding
he needed to
me?
rely. He used to be the greatest athlete in the history of organized competition.
Jordan's 84. Okay, way to go. LeBron James was born without a clutch gene. Who would like to try me on this one? All right.
You keep saying, I don't call that clutch. What do you call clutch? So we're on the same page. You're saying he's not, what is clutch?
Clutch is Michael Jordan winning the NCAA championship with a walk-off shot. Clutch is Michael Jordan beating Craig Elo and the Cavaliers in the deciding Game 5 with a walk-off shot. Clutch is winning the NBA Finals in Game 6 at Utah by stealing the ball, dribbling the length of the court, and going up and holding the pose on a walk-off shot. Those are clutch.
It's all walk-off shots for you. It's not about a full playoff performance. Because you also just said, speaking of the 09 Magic series, he averaged 39, 9, and 9 in that series. 39, 9, and 9, and they lost. I would love after this,
do you remember
maybe
the
we could go get a
build-up to
drink
that?
together. We could go watch the highlights of that series.
Remember,
You're talking about
that
the
was
last
supposed
shots?
to be LeBron versus Kobe, the whole build-up.
He averaged 39, 9, and 9, Skip. Why is that his fault? Clutch performance is not 1 minute of a game. It's not 1 second. He has played. We were listing, our friends over there listed some great clutch performances. You're only talking about shots at the end of the game. And again, if that's what you want to talk about, he has more. So we can end the debate there.
That's
what
the
about
definition
LeBron?
of clutch.
So the performance, a full playoff run where he fucking... Do you remember against the Celtics, Game 6, 2012, is back against the wall, down 3-2. That coming off 2011, which was terrible, right? What did he do? He couldn't miss in the first. I think he missed 1 shot in the first half. Go watch that first half highlights, 30 in the first half,
How about
45.
coming off 2010 against the Celtics, winning games 4, 5, and 6? It got so bad that somebody from his inner circle had to plant with Stephen A. that he had to be sedated in the locker room because he was before those games because he had an issue with a teammate, Delonte West.
So this is a fun thing. I just said a point. And now you're bringing up something completely unrelated because you don't have an answer for that. 2018 LeBronto, right? He ended, that team had a pretty nice run for a couple. You never heard that?
Yeah, but
you got your phone.
But you're bringing me Toronto?
So who does it matter? You're bringing me. Are you? Who's the guy you listed that he hit a shot over? I don't know who that guy is.
It was the Eastern Conference in those days. Those
because
are
everyone was.
opponents.
So do you think it's a
Paul George's Indiana?
1 second for
Is that credible?
1 second. So after the year after LeBron left, it was almost like all these East teams started building. Now it was almost like, I don't know, he's really good and nobody wanted to really contend because like there was no point because they were going to the playoffs or the finals every single year. Was that like a coincidence, you think, that the East got like way better after he left?
You know what?
It was a coincidence.
You know what? Speaking of clutch, I even got to throw this at you. Let's keep
More
it somewhat in the present because even this year against Charlotte at home after they acquired Luka Doncic, this is one of the first Luka games.
Yeah, I watched.
LeBron gets 2 3-point shots, pretty open, pretty good looks.
Okay.
To tie the game. And LeBricks both of them. And I'm like, you can't even do it against Charlotte?
He had his
really?
most.
They lost to Charlotte at home.
He had his most, the most he ever spoke in an interview, you'd probably agree with Pat Mac. The most open he was, not on the shop, not on anything that's his own platform, was the McAfee interview, right? Stephen A. Smith, good friend of yours, right? 6 weeks prior, right, they had the interaction after the game, which, first of all, if that was Jordan, you would be saying, my uncle would still be talking about it to this day. Oh, that's the clutch gene. His biggest stop, he called him out, and then he went in, walked down his favorite team. In the middle of the game, he walks up to him, he goes back out, leads a comeback, walks down his favorite team right in front of his face. Stephen A. goes on a press tour 6 weeks after that, and then on the McAfee show, there's 90 seconds. You can time it. 90 seconds from the moment Stephen A.'s name comes up to the moment they move on. Stephen A. that night puts out a 55-minute response to him on his YouTube. Within 2 hours of that happening, LeBron James hit a buzzer beater versus the Pacers. 2 weeks left in the NBA season.
Buzzer beater?
In a literal sense, it was. I deal in the reality of it.
It's a
What's a buzzer beater?